Life has a way of testing us with challenges, distractions, and circumstances that make us feel powerless. But the truth is, the power to control your life has always been in your hands. The world may throw obstacles your way, people may disappoint you, and situations may seem unfair, but your response, your choices, and your discipline are what determine the direction of your life. If you want to take back control of your life, you must first accept full responsibility for where you are right now and where you're headed. Taking back control of your life begins with one powerful decision: accepting full responsibility for everything in it. This may sound overwhelming at first because many of us are conditioned to look outward when things go wrong. We point fingers at our parents for how we were raised, at society for its unfairness, at friends or colleagues for not supporting us, or even at circumstances for holding us back. While it's true that external factors can influence us, the truth is the only thing we have control over is our response. When you stop blaming others and start owning your choices, you immediately step into a position of power. Responsibility doesn't mean guilt, it means ownership. It's the understanding that while you can't change the past or other people, you can always choose how you react, adapt, and move forward. When you accept full responsibility, excuses lose their power. You stop saying, "I can't because of them," and start saying, "I will because of me." Imagine the shift in your mindset when you realize that no matter what happens, you have the ability to take action. That shift transforms you from being a victim of life to being the author of your life, and every author decides how the story unfolds. Responsibility gives you freedom, because as long as you blame others, you're waiting for them to fix your life. But when you own your path, you no longer wait, you act. Think of the most successful and fulfilled people in the world. They did not achieve greatness because life handed them everything on a silver platter. Many of them faced hardships, failures, rejection, and criticism. What separates them from those who remain stuck is their willingness to take ownership of their journey. Instead of complaining, they looked at what they could control: their attitude, their effort, their persistence. They understood that blaming the world doesn't change the world, but taking responsibility for themselves changes their life. Responsibility also creates clarity. When you admit that you are responsible for your decisions, you start to make better ones. You no longer waste energy focusing on what others are doing. Instead, you invest it in what you can do. You realize that your daily habits, your mindset, and your choices are shaping your future. For example, if your health isn't where you want it to be, blaming genetics won't help, but taking responsibility by changing your diet, exercise, and lifestyle will. If your career is stagnant, blaming your boss won't move you forward, but taking responsibility by upgrading your skills, seeking opportunities, or even creating your own path will. Another key part of responsibility is accountability. Once you accept that your life is yours to shape, you must hold yourself accountable. This means being honest with yourself about where you are falling short and having the courage to correct it. Accountability doesn't mean beating yourself up. It means being real enough to admit your mistakes, learn from them, and grow stronger. Every mistake can become a stepping stone if you own it instead of denying it. Finally, responsibility builds confidence. The more you own your actions, the more you realize how capable you are. Each time you take charge of a difficult situation, your self-belief grows. You begin to trust yourself because you know that no matter what comes your way, you will take responsibility and handle it. That confidence becomes the foundation for everything else: your success, your relationships, your peace of mind. So if you truly want to take back control of your life, start here. Stop blaming, stop waiting, stop giving your power away. Accept full responsibility. It won't always be easy, but it will always be worth it. Because once you take responsibility for your life, no one else can control it, only you. Excuses are one of the biggest thieves of success, progress, and happiness. They may sound harmless in the moment, but they slowly steal away your dreams and keep you stuck in the same place year after year. When you want to take back control of your life, one of the most important steps is learning how to eliminate excuses and replace them with consistent action. Excuses come in many forms. I don't have enough time. I don't have the resources. I'm too old. I'm too young. I'll start tomorrow. All of these may feel like legitimate reasons, but in reality, they are barriers we create to protect ourselves from discomfort, fear, and responsibility. The danger of excuses is that they give you temporary comfort while robbing you of long-term results. For example, if you say, "I don't have time to exercise," you may feel relieved in the moment because you don't have to push yourself, but in the long run, your health suffers. If you say, "I don't have the money to start," you may avoid risk today, but you also miss the chance to build something greater for tomorrow. Excuses keep you safe, but they also keep you small. They may shield you from failure, but they also block you from growth and success. To eliminate excuses, you must first recognize them for what they are: lies you tell yourself to avoid taking responsibility. Every time you hear yourself saying, "I can't," stop and challenge it with, "How can I?" That simple shift in mindset turns a dead end into a doorway. Instead of saying, "I don't have time," ask, "How can I make time?" Instead of saying, "I don't know how," ask, "How can I learn?" This shift rewires your brain from excuse making to problem solving, and that's where action begins. Action is the antidote to excuses. Even the smallest step forward is more powerful than the most convincing excuse. Many people wait for the perfect time to start working on their goals. They believe they need the right environment, the right amount of money, or the right level of confidence before they begin. But here's the truth: there will never be a perfect time. The only right time is now. The act of starting creates momentum, and momentum creates opportunities you could never have seen while standing still. Think of action like planting a seed. The seed may look small and insignificant at first, but with care and consistency, it grows into something powerful. Each action you take, no matter how small, is a seed planted for your future. Excuses, on the other hand, are like weeds. They choke the soil of your life and prevent anything from growing. If you want a life filled with growth and abundance, you must pull out the weeds of excuses and water the seeds of action daily. Another key to overcoming excuses is embracing discomfort. Most excuses are rooted in fear: fear of failure, fear of rejection, or fear of the unknown. But growth always lies outside of your comfort zone. Taking action often feels scary at first, but with each step, the fear begins to shrink. What once felt impossible becomes manageable, and what once seemed far away becomes achievable. Remember, comfort will never lead you to greatness, but courage will. Finally, eliminating excuses builds self-respect. Every time you take action instead of making an excuse, you prove to yourself that you can be trusted to follow through. This builds inner strength and confidence. You stop seeing yourself as someone who tries and start seeing yourself as someone who does. That shift in identity is powerful because it rewires the way you live your life. In the end, excuses will always be available, but so will opportunities. The choice is yours. You can stay stuck, safe and small, or you can take action and step into the life you were meant to live. If you truly want to take back control of your life, stop waiting, stop explaining, stop excusing. Just start moving. Action, even imperfect action, will always take you further than any excuse ever will. One of the most powerful ways to take back control of your life is by setting and protecting your boundaries. Boundaries are not walls meant to shut people out. They are guidelines that protect your time, energy, and emotional well-being. Without boundaries, you leave yourself open to being drained by toxic people, overwhelmed by endless demands, and distracted by things that don't serve your growth. Boundaries are how you teach others how to treat you, and even more importantly, how you remind yourself of your own worth. Many people struggle with boundaries because they fear being judged, rejected, or seen as selfish. They say yes when they want to say no, and take on responsibilities that don't belong to them. Over time, this leads to resentment, burnout, and a life that feels like it belongs to everyone else but you. The truth is, saying yes to everything means saying no to yourself. And if you're always giving away your energy, you will have nothing left for your own goals, dreams, and happiness. Taking back control requires you to stop pleasing everyone else and start prioritizing what matters most to you. Boundaries can exist in many areas of life: your relationships, your career, your personal time, and even within your own habits. In relationships, boundaries may look like refusing to tolerate toxic behavior, disrespect, or negativity. In your career, boundaries may look like leaving work at work instead of letting it consume your personal life. In your daily routine, boundaries may look like limiting time spent on social media, avoiding negative news cycles, or creating space for rest and self-care. Every boundary you create is a declaration that your life matters and your energy is valuable. The first step in setting boundaries is self-awareness. You must identify where in your life you feel drained, overwhelmed, or taken advantage of. These feelings are signals that your boundaries are weak or non-existent. Ask yourself, who or what is taking more from me than I am willing to give? Where am I sacrificing my peace for the comfort of others? These questions will reveal where boundaries are needed most. The next step is communication. Boundaries are only effective when they are expressed clearly and consistently. This doesn't mean being rude or harsh, it means being firm and honest. For example, if someone constantly interrupts your work with unimportant requests, you might say, "I need uninterrupted time right now, I'll get back to you later." If a friend drains you with constant negativity, you can gently tell them, "I care about you, but I need to limit conversations that leave me feeling depleted." At first, people may resist your boundaries, especially if they've been benefiting from your lack of them. But with consistency, they will learn to respect your limits. Protecting your boundaries also requires self-discipline. It's not enough to set them, you must enforce them. This means following through on your words and not bending just to avoid conflict. Every time you reinforce a boundary, you build self-respect. Every time you break your own boundary, you weaken your power. Protecting your boundaries shows that you value your life enough to defend it. Another important aspect of boundaries is learning to say no without guilt. No is not a negative word. It's a powerful tool that frees you from obligations that don't align with your priorities. When you say no to distractions, toxic people, and unnecessary drama, you are saying yes to your growth, your goals, and your peace of mind. In the end, boundaries are about balance. They don't isolate you from the world, they empower you to engage with it in a healthier, stronger, and more intentional way. By setting and protecting your boundaries, you create a safe space where you can thrive, focus on your goals, and live life on your own terms. If you truly want to take back control of your life, remember this: boundaries are not selfish, they are self-respect in action. If you truly want to take back control of your life, you must learn to value discipline more than comfort. Comfort is tempting because it feels good in the moment, it's easy, safe, and familiar. But comfort rarely leads to progress. Discipline, on the other hand, may feel difficult at first, but it is the key that unlocks growth, success, and freedom. The difference between people who achieve their goals and those who stay stuck is not talent or luck, it is discipline. Discipline is the ability to do what needs to be done. Even when you don't feel like doing it, motivation may spark action, but motivation fades quickly. Some days you'll wake up energized, ready to conquer your goals. Other days, you'll feel tired, distracted, or uninspired. This is where discipline comes in. Discipline doesn't ask how you feel. It demands that you show up anyway. It's about making decisions based on commitment, not emotions. Think about athletes, entrepreneurs, or anyone who has achieved excellence in their field. Their success didn't come from working hard only when they felt motivated. It came from showing up consistently day after day, even when it was uncomfortable. A runner doesn't skip training because it's raining outside. A writer doesn't stop writing because inspiration is missing. They push forward because they understand that discipline builds momentum, and momentum creates results. One of the biggest traps in life is chasing comfort. Comfort convinces you to hit snooze instead of waking up early. Comfort tells you to binge watch shows instead of working on your goals. Comfort encourages you to eat junk food instead of nourishing your body. And while these choices may feel good in the moment, they steal from your future. Every time you choose comfort over discipline, you give away a piece of your control. On the other hand, every time you choose discipline, you take your power back. Discipline is also about consistency. Small repeated actions lead to big transformations. For example, reading for 20 minutes a day may not seem like much, but over time, it can expand your knowledge and perspective dramatically. Exercising regularly, even for short periods, creates strength and health. Saving a little money consistently builds financial security. Success is not built on one grand gesture, but on the daily discipline of small, intentional actions. Another key to discipline is self-control. In today's world, distractions are everywhere: social media, notifications, endless entertainment. Without discipline, it's easy to waste hours on things that don't contribute to your goals. Self-control means managing your impulses and staying focused on what truly matters. It's not about denying yourself joy, but about prioritizing what will bring lasting fulfillment over what brings temporary pleasure. The beauty of discipline is that it becomes a habit. At first, it may feel like a struggle to wake up early, stay focused, or stick to a routine. But with repetition, discipline becomes part of your identity. You begin to see yourself as someone who follows through, who stays committed, who doesn't quit when things get tough. This self-image becomes powerful because it reinforces your belief in yourself. Discipline also creates freedom. It may sound contradictory, but it's true. When you live without discipline, you are controlled by your impulses, distractions, and emotions. But when you build discipline, you gain control over your choices and your future. The disciplined person is free because they are not a prisoner to laziness, procrastination, or temptation. They can design the life they want because they have the strength to follow through. In the end, comfort may give you short-term relief, but discipline gives you long-term fulfillment. Comfort fades quickly, but discipline creates results that last a lifetime. If you want to take back control of your life, stop chasing comfort and start building discipline. Because once you master discipline, there is nothing you cannot achieve. Time is the most valuable resource you have. Unlike money, opportunities, or possessions, once time is gone, it can never be replaced. Every second, every hour, every day is an investment into your future, whether you realize it or not. If you want to take back control of your life, you must take control of how you spend your time. The way you use your time will determine the quality of your life, your success, and ultimately your legacy. The challenge is that many people live as though their time is unlimited. They waste hours scrolling endlessly on social media, watching meaningless shows, or engaging in gossip and distractions that add no value to their lives. They put off their goals, telling themselves they'll start tomorrow, next week, or next year. But tomorrow is never promised. Procrastination is the silent thief of dreams, and it robs countless people of the life they could have lived. To take back control, you must stop treating time casually and start treating it as the most precious currency you own. Using your time wisely starts with clarity. You must know what truly matters to you, your goals, your values, your vision for life. Without clarity, you will spend time reacting to everything around you instead of directing your energy toward what counts. For example, if your goal is to build financial independence, you should prioritize learning, working, and creating opportunities instead of wasting hours on distractions. If your goal is better health, your time must include consistent exercise, proper rest, and meal preparation. Every minute spent in alignment with your goals brings you closer to the life you want. Every minute wasted pulls you further away. Another key to using your time intentionally is learning to prioritize. Not all tasks are equal. Some activities move you forward, while others simply keep you busy. Many people confuse activity with productivity. They work long hours, but their effort doesn't lead to meaningful progress. To avoid this trap, focus on the tasks that have the greatest impact on your goals. This is known as the 80-20 rule. 20% of your actions produce 80% of your results. Identify that 20% and give it your best energy. Protecting your time also means protecting your boundaries. If you let everyone else dictate your schedule, you'll never have time for yourself. People will always demand your attention, but it's your responsibility to decide what deserves it. This may mean saying no more often, reducing time spent with people who drain you, or limiting activities that don't align with your values. Every yes you give is a no to something else, so choose carefully. One powerful way to take control of your time is by creating routines. A strong morning routine sets the tone for your day, while an evening routine helps you reflect and prepare for tomorrow. Routines create structure, and structure helps you use time efficiently. Without structure, time slips away unnoticed, and you find yourself wondering where the day went. With structure, you take charge of your hours and make them work for you. Another aspect of wise time management is avoiding perfectionism. Many people waste time trying to make everything flawless before they act, but perfection is an illusion. Progress is always better than procrastination. Start where you are with what you have and improve along the way. Waiting until everything is perfect only ensures that you lose more time. Finally, using your time wisely means making space for rest and reflection. Time well spent is not just about constant work, it's also about balance. Rest renews your energy, while reflection helps you learn from your past and adjust your path forward. Wasting time is not always about doing nothing. Sometimes it's about doing too much of the wrong things. Intentional rest and reflection keep you aligned with what truly matters. In the end, your time is your life. How you spend it is how you live it. If you want to take back control of your life, you must stop wasting time on what doesn't matter and start investing it in what does. Because one day, when you look back, it won't be the hours you wasted that you remember. It will be the moments you lived with intention and purpose. One of the greatest keys to taking back control of your life is strengthening your self-belief. Everything you achieve, everything you build, and every direction you take in life is rooted in the way you see yourself. If you don't believe in your abilities, your potential, and your worth, you will sabotage your own progress before the world even has a chance to test you. On the other hand, when you develop unshakable self-belief, you stop waiting for permission, stop doubting your every move, and start living with confidence and purpose. Self-belief is not about arrogance or pretending you're perfect. It's about having the quiet confidence that no matter what happens, you will find a way to overcome it. It's about trusting yourself enough to take risks, knowing you can handle both the victories and the setbacks. Without self-belief, even the best opportunities can slip through your hands because you'll convince yourself you're not ready, not capable, or not worthy. With self-belief, you create opportunities because you trust yourself to figure things out as you go. The truth is, no one else can give you lasting belief in yourself. People may encourage you, support you, or compliment you, but if you don't believe those things deep inside, their words won't matter. True self-belief must be built from within. It starts with the way you speak to yourself. Many people lose control of their lives because their inner dialogue is full of doubt and negativity. They constantly replay mistakes, compare themselves to others, and focus on weaknesses instead of strengths. To strengthen your self-belief, you must reprogram this inner voice. Speak to yourself with encouragement. Replace "I can't" with "I can learn." Replace "I'm not good enough" with "I am improving every day." Over time, your mind will begin to believe the words you feed it. Another powerful way to build self-belief is through action. Confidence doesn't come from sitting and waiting. It comes from doing. Every time you take action, even in small steps, you prove to yourself that you are capable. For example, if you set a goal to exercise 3 times a week and you stick to it, you begin to trust yourself. If you commit to learning a new skill and follow through, your confidence grows. Each action becomes evidence that you are reliable, capable, and strong. The more evidence you gather, the more your self-belief solidifies. Self-belief also grows when you stop comparing yourself to others. Comparison is poison. It convinces you that you're behind, unworthy, or failing. But everyone's journey is different. Instead of comparing, focus on your own progress. Look at where you were a year ago versus where you are now. Celebrate even the smallest improvements because they remind you that growth is happening. Comparison weakens self-belief, but gratitude for your progress strengthens it. It's also important to surround yourself with people who uplift and challenge you. While self-belief comes from within, your environment can either nurture it or destroy it. If you spend time around people who constantly doubt you, criticize you, or belittle your dreams, your belief will slowly fade. But if you surround yourself with people who inspire you, support you, and push you to grow, your self-belief will flourish. Protect your environment as much as you protect your mindset. Finally, remember that failure does not define you. Many people lose self-belief after a setback because they mistake failure for finality. But failure is simply feedback. It teaches you what doesn't work and guides you toward what does. Every successful person has failed more times than most people have even tried. The difference is, they didn't let failure break their belief. Instead, they used it to fuel their resilience. When you strengthen your self-belief, you see failure not as proof that you can't, but as proof that you're learning. In the end, taking back control of your life is impossible without belief in yourself. You can set boundaries, use your time wisely, and develop discipline. But if deep down you don't believe you're capable, you'll always hold yourself back. Strengthening your self-belief means deciding that you are enough, that you are capable, and that you deserve to create the life you want. Once you truly believe in yourself, no obstacle, no doubt, and no opinion can stop you.